bears. Got a love-hate relationship with them. So, when I got out of the Army in 2009, moved up to my wife's family's ranch at about 9,000 feet in the Colorado Rockies. And I had always told my wife that if anybody had ever broke into our house, I would handle this. I would take care of it as a man. Well, one night, it happened. So, apparently after I got out of the Army, I was able to sleep through anything because one night my wife woke me up and said, "Hey, I just heard something. I heard something like glass breaking." And I got out of bed and went out of our bedroom, through the living room, into the kitchen area where I saw a giant bear. A big old black bear, like 6 feet tall. We locked eyes for a second. He got scared. I got scared. He took my brain tub of protein powder, ran away. I got pissed. Anyways, he broke the storm door coming in. We cleaned up the glass. I was mad about my protein. Fucker. And he took off. Well, I was not prepared for what I saw, obviously. So I was like, all right, cool. Next time, motherfucker. The next time came about 45 minutes later, and we turned off the lights, went back to sleep, thinking that he'd be gone for the night. Some bitch came back. This time, I decided I would do something better, and I armed myself with a .357 stub-nose revolver. Not the greatest choice, but whatever. So, this time I jumped out of bed. I took my stub-nose .357. I ran out there. I think I had a flashlight. I flashlighted it. The bear looked at me, I looked at it, and it took off out the door. And we had a wraparound porch on our house. And I pointed this thing at the bear, and I realized that I'm pointing right at our vehicles in our little parking lot. And I was like, that is not the greatest idea to shoot. So I waited. And I'm in this little sunroom that we had, like a breakfast nook sunroom. And I got it, and all of a sudden, it's running down the porch. I'm like, bam, 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 bam. And I'm shooting this motherfucker through our windows. Because in my head, that was a good idea. Well, when it got out of sight, I also thought it would be a great idea to chase after it. Because that's the fucking retard that I am. I'm more like a caveman than anything else. So, I, being a 6'2" white dude, decided that running after a bear is a great idea. So I went out the door, I chugged it along the wraparound deck, and I jumped off the deck, and my feet touched our grass, and I stopped. I went, wait a minute. Here I am, white dude, butt-ass naked, by the way, with a damn revolver in my hand, with one round left, and a flashlight. And I'm chasing a fucking bear into the fucking woods at like 3 o'clock in the morning. This is not a good idea. So, I backpedaled, went inside, and then got chastised by my wife. She's like, what the fuck? I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, why'd you shoot the bear? And I'm like, I told you I would shoot shit if it came in the house. She's like, yeah, but you shot our windows. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, yeah, and you shot a chair. I'm like, it was in the way. She's like, and you shot the fucking drill that was on the table. I'm like, maybe the drill should have moved. And she's like, you shot all of our fucking windows out. And I'm like, well, you know what? Here's the thing. I was aiming at the bear. So after getting yelled at, cleaned everything up. We had no bear problems. That was like in the fall, went through the winter. And in the spring, me and my son were out walking by the house. And I saw some bones in this tree like 25 yards away from the house. I walk over there, and it's that fucking bear. I killed that son of a bitch. At some point in time when shooting out all the windows, so one of my rounds struck that bastard, and I killed it. .357 stub nose. And I still have the skull today. I'll go down and find it, and I'll insert a picture here. That was my year 1 living on a ranch in Colorado. Year 2, same house. We had a bear that was destroying our house. It was basically ripping off the siding, and then it had burrowed like underneath the house and was fucking with underneath of the house, right? So it got to the point where I was like getting on our roof and waiting for this fucker to come down like at dusk, and I was gonna kill it, and it never came like the times I was up there. So we called Division of Wildlife. Excuse me. And they came out. They're like, "Hey, this is what you gotta do. You gotta take Ziploc baggies and fill them full of bleach, and then put honey and peanut butter all over the outside, and the bear's gonna bite it. And when they get the bleach in their mouth, it's gonna scare them. They're gonna run away." The bears did not get scared of any bleach. So they said, "Okay, you gotta take a piece of plywood, put it underneath your window, and put nails all over it, so they step on it, it'll hurt their paw, and they'll get scared and run away." The fucking bears didn't give one single shit about any plywood with nails. So then they said, "Okay, go buy a cheap bag of dog food. Buy those big, huge hockey pucks of rat poison. Cover those rat poison in peanut butter and honey. Bury them in the dog food. They're going to eat it. It's going to upset their stomach, and then they're going to run away." At this point in time, I realized Division of Wildlife were fucking retarded, and the bears didn't give a shit about the rat poison. They probably really enjoyed the dog food, though. So they came one last time, and they said, "Okay." They put a trap out, had fish in it. It was disgustingly smelling gross. And they're going to say, "The bear's going to come in here. It's going to pull on the fish. Trap's going to come down. You're going to call us. We're going to haul this sumbitch away. Oh, by the way, here's some rubber bullets. You can shoot it at them." So that stayed there for like a week or two. The bears didn't give one single shit about it. After about 2 weeks, couldn't stand the smell anymore. Told them to come get their shit, get it out of there. Then, a week later-ish, we are getting ready to go to bed. The sun had just gone down, or just going down. I think it was, just going down. And what do we hear? We hear this fucking bear again. Right outside our bedroom window. It's like clawing at the house. So I'm like, this motherfucker, right? This time with clothes on, mind you. I was dressed. I grabbed a rifle and I ran outside. In my mind, the bear was going to see me get terrified and then run away, and I would take a shot at the bear whilst it was like 50, 100 yards away, and I had a 338 Win Mag bolt action. So I pull up around the house. The bear sees me. I see it. We're way too fucking close for comfort. I realize I have the wrong weapon system. I am going to shoot this bear. It's going to go right through it. It's just going to get pissed. It's going to fucking charge me. I'm not going to be able to rack it fast enough, and it's going to eat me. That's what I'm thinking, right? The bear looks at me like, "Make your move, bitch." I did make my move. I retreated. I went back in the house, came out with a 12 gauge. I'm like, okay, now I have the right weapon system. I got double-aught buck slug, loaded up like that. It was my bear gun. I came out. This bear comes out. Oh yeah, by the way, he walked right over the fucking plywood with nails to like get underneath the house. So fuck you, Division of Wildlife. Anyways, he comes out and he doesn't like charge me, but he looks at me like, "You come on, you fucking bitch." And I was like, boom, boom, boom. And I shot him like 3 or 4 times. And he kind of like took them all, and then like kind of reared up a little bit, like he was like pissed off. And at that point, I'm glad I didn't shoot with a fucking rifle. And he went to take another couple steps, and I pumped him with like 2 more, and I put a couple more shells in there, racked one. He was done. I'm like, whew, thank God, right? I didn't get mauled by a bear. Win for me. Then my wife, because she's a good-hearted person, called Division of Wildlife. We got a different dude that had came out previously. He says, "Hey, I don't know where your fucking ranch is, so I have to drive 25 miles down a fucking gravel/dirt road to get to the interstate to meet this Division Wildlife guy. We drive all the way back up to the ranch. Again, 25 miles each way, right? So it's like an hour and a half, round trip for me to go down there, wait for him, come back. Come back up there. We see, this is no shit, another bear eating the fucking dead bear. Like, I cannot make this shit up. It was eating its shoulder. Rah, rah, rah. We pulled up, and the Division Wildlife guy pulls out his fucking pistol. Bam, bam. And just to scare him, basically. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on in this fucking ranch, right? We got fucking bears forever. So, he gets the bear. I tell him what happened. He's like, okay, cool, whatever. I ask him, I'm like, hey, dude, can I keep the hide? Like, it's a beautiful cinnamon-colored bear. And he's like, no, we gotta sell it every February, blah, blah, blah. So he takes the bear away. So we have no more problems that year, right? The third and final year that I'm on the ranch, we had moved houses. We had moved from that house down to one of our log cabins. And I had a lab, and she was my pheasant dog. I take her to Iowa and shit to go hunting. And one night I was letting her out, and I was like, Sweet Pea, go outside. Sweet Pea does the thing where, dogs, like, they'll take, like, one step outside, and they back up like that. Sweet Pea backs up, and she starts whining, and I'm like, what the fuck? So I turn on the light. There's a fucking bear on my porch. And I'm like, what the fuck? So the bear, sees me turn on the lights, it runs away. At the same time, I go and I grab an M4, right? And I see this bear, and it was right across the pond, right where I was zeroing my rifle like 2 or 3 days prior. So I turn on my Surefire. This is 100 yards away, exactly at 100 yards. I turn on my Surefire, and I can barely see like eyeballs and stuff, And I have an EOTech, and I pop one round in its ass. It's a 223 cartridge. This thing is barely big enough, bigger than a 22. It's a spicy 22. It is such a small cartridge and round that in a lot of states you can't even go fucking deer hunting with this thing, okay? And I'm thinking, I pop it in its ass, it's going to be like, ouch, and then it's going to run away. Cool, right? Well, the next day, I let my dog out. She goes outside to go to the bathroom, and I'm doing something with my kid, and my dog just yip, 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 yip. And I'm like, what the fuck, right? So I call her, she's not coming. Yip, 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 yip. And she's right across the pond where I shot at the fucking bear. So I'm like, what the fuck, right? So I walk over there, I look down the little hill, sure as shit, here's this fucking bear, 4 paws up, dead as fuck. And I'm like, first of all, I did not know I was that good a shot at night with an EOTech with a shitty ass Surefire, because back then Surefires not as good as they are now. But I am. And then, who the fuck would have thought that one round from 100 yards away with a fucking M4 223 round out of a 16-inch barrel would have, done all that. I sure as fuck didn't. I'll tell you that much. Anyways, we had to fucking dispose of the body again. Again, I could not keep the hide. Assholes. But anyway, like I said, me and bears have a love-hate relationship. Every time I've gone elk hunting, I have encountered a bear. Usually they leave me alone. I did have a bear eat one of my game cams one time. Bastard. All you saw was like, the whole mouth on there. I had bears terrorize my dogs, like, all the time. But I got my revenge, because I got 3 of them and they got none of us, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, there's Tales from the Ranch, Volume 1. Later.